Hey YouTube, Kim Brzezlik here. Let me move this speaker over here. Okay YouTube, Kim Brzezlik here. I'm going to be working on Woody's nuts. I've done a video on this in the past. I'm actually going to change it up a little bit. What it is Woody makes clocks. And sometimes he'll put a spinner inside the face. And it'll be in the background, and there'll be slots in the front plate, and as it spins around, it might show the bubble effervescing. I got a little example of it here, I think. So this isn't necessarily a clock, but it's fun time flavor. And this would be in the background and would be spinning and creating some kind of illusion. And that's this fun time flavor. So he does stuff like that. If you want a clock, he can make a clock. Say anything you want. You can have a picture of your grandkids on the face, or anything you can think of, as long as copyright laws won't infringe. I wanted him to make me a clock with a stare-at indicator face, and of course he couldn't do that. And I said, well, just misspell the name, and I'll never take it out of my shop, you know. I won't try to sell it or anything. And he considered that, and nah, he's not going to do that. Okay, so anyway, I made Woody I think about 60 nuts in the summer. And he's calling up for more, and let me show you. These aren't finished in any way, but this is the nut I did this summer. Well, I just did it today, actually, but this is the top of it is beveled or chamfered, and the bottom is flat. Two of these go together. That's why. Of course, the bottom of this hasn't been finished yet. But so what I'm making this time around is no bevel, no chamfering, and I just kind of made the executive decision to make them that way. He requested that in the very beginning. And I told him that it'll be too sharp, the edges will be too sharp, and that's true. But he was trying to eliminate one operation and make it easier for me. I was trying to do the right thing. Well, now I'm seeing the light. So I'm going to take you through this process. But I'm not going to do it quite like I did the first time. I'm just going to give you just little snippets of each operation. And the first operation, for almost anything you're turning on the lathe, is going to be facing. And I didn't record that, but I will record drilling and tapping, and then the parting and the whole situation. I got some stuff in the mail today. I got some new inserts. And it's actually the first time I got inserts that actually have a label on them. and actually says what it is. So what spurred this off, I'm not sure if you can see that, there. What spurred this off, this size, is I bought some tool holders with that size insert. I like that shape. I like to be able to get in that shoulder with that. And size matters. I was kind of turned off by it because it's such a small little thing, but it does a great job. And one of my subscribers commented that I think he sensed my apprehension about it. He said, buy a handful of inserts for that, maybe 2 handfuls. He says you'll never look back. So my first order from Banggood, the order was canceled about a week into the processing the order. Item no longer available. So I went to Amazon and got this one. And got it delivered in a couple of days. I got another dozen, 10 coming, some kind of blue coating on it. Who knows? I'd like to get some information from people if there's anything in this DCMT, if there's anything in these codes that specifies something is better for aluminum or something is better for cast iron. I have read about some stuff that's special to harder materials and stainless. But I'm going to keep these things coming. The next insert I'd like to get is, I think they're called buttons, round insert. First, I see all kinds of holders for them, but they're all 5/8" shanks, and I need a 1/2 inch or less. But I'd like to have that contouring as a contouring tool. So if anybody can help me out on finding tool holder and inserts for those button inserts, they might be called. You know what I'm trying to say. So, mailman, not the mailman, the Amazon truck brought that. And someone else, one of the YouTubers suggested a book to read, to get and read, obviously. And they said it doesn't matter how experienced you are or whatever, so get this book and read it. It's got a lot of great information. And How to Run a Lathe. This is by South Bend Lathe Works. How to erect, care, and operate screw cutting engine lathe. So this thing is the original copyright on this thing. They don't give that. It says 2012, but this is obviously, it's not a high quality thing. It almost looks like photocopy. It is. That's exactly what it is. In here, it shows you, the line shaft system. And here's your lathe. Here's your line overhead shaft, and here's your belts. And a breakdown of the lathe itself, but there's some interesting stuff in here. There's some attachments, milling attachments, and there we go. And a key settings steel shaft and boring in the lathe, So, yeah, it's, I haven't read it yet. I'm going to hold criticism. I mean, there's got to be something in here to learn. And it's all kind of specific to a machine that was operated on a line shaft system. I'll give you a full report. So, looks like we're just going to get over here to the cute little mini lathe here and working on Woody's nuts. So, like I mentioned, we already did the facing. I don't think there's any good way to do this camera movement. Probably turn it off and then set it up. But I'm using a spotting drill, and I've heard, guys a hell of a lot smarter than me and much more experienced than me say it doesn't make any difference, and I've heard people give a good explanation of why it does matter. And having had an unexpected experience with these nuts in the past, where I'm able to drill a hole maybe a little more than an inch, and then I can tap a little less than that, and say I'm drilling way into the future, and so I can tap, let's say, a half inch, I can get 3 nuts out of that. My hole's still there, I can tap again, get 3 more, but once I got so that's 6, once I got to maybe 4, 5, and 6, or 4 and 5, the hole was no longer in the center of the nut. So that makes this start more important, to get a good start. And I'll bring you back when I have the drill set up. Okay, I squared my blade up to the work simply by bringing it up and to the right of my work, and then turning it in, watching the gap between the tool and the work, and then and you're pulling the tool back. You want to watch it and make sure it's not springing to the left. It's not springing back, and so there was no torque on it when you took your measurement. Okay, now we need to measure our travel. Now, I could use my compound, but my compound DRO thingy suffered too many crashes into my tailstock. So what I have here is I have a magnet mounted down here at the end of on the carriage there. And I have a Harbor Freight electronic digital caliber. I've ground off the pointy parts. I've got a couple magnets on the back of it. And I just stick that there to my ways. Okay, let me get it a little straighter here. Okay, so you can zero that, and that's going to give me my travel on the carriage. So, for what I'm doing and what I want to end up with, I am moving the tool 100,000ths of an inch. So subtract 4 thousandths, which is the thickness of my parting blade. so my finished pieces are going to be 94 thousandths of an inch. I wonder how true that is. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and dial that in. And Kimber doesn't talk in this process much anyway. There's 80. There's 100. Now I have my recently reinstalled carriage lock, which is 100 times better than using my half nut lever. Now, I've also ground my blade or honed it in a fashion with a little angle like this, with hopes to cleaning off my piece and leaving the burr on the stock. So it works to a certain degree, and we're going to turn the lathe around and get it going in the right direction. So we're at about 300, and let's go up to about 350, 360. Yeah, we'll keep it there, around 365. Let me get my catching tool ready. More and more often I've just been letting the part fall on the ground. And you can see where that's you might not be able to see it, but its first contact is on the right side of that blade. Here come the harmonics. Haven't been using any kind of lubricant. There we go. Let's see how we did on what we left on here. I think it's just safe to say there's more left on the stock than is left on there. So what I've been doing is coming up here, putting some pressure on this, knocking that knob off. It makes things a little smoother when I'm facing. So we've just about gone full circle. We're unlocked the carriage. Lock the carriage back. And now we're ready to part up another one, and we'll keep doing that, and we just keep adding to our little pile here. I haven't done any kind of time studies, see how long this takes, but that's basically the operation. Pull this off, bring in the parting blade, lock it down, let's move it up. There we go. Right there, I'm going to pull it back and see if I got any spring back. And that looks good. I'm going to reset my 6-inch electronic digital caliber from Harbor Freight. And I'm going to make sure my tool's back enough. Yes, I'm going to advance my carriage 100 thousandths. Coming up on 80. 98, 99, 100. And then we're off to the races. See if we can achieve this without oil. Something in my setup has changed because I wasn't getting all that harmonics earlier. It could be my stick out. Very close. Okay, that's it for Woody's nuts. After I got a pile of those, I'll come back and see about what method I'm going to use to clean up that face. At least knock that burr off. Now, I've used a file in the past. Let me show you. Now, of course, it's not here. Well, I made a little honing fixture. Basically, it's a socket. And I stuffed a bunch of paper in it. I can stick this in there, and only let a little bit of it stick out. And I can kind of sand it off, lap it off, but try to find a method that's a little less, a little easier, a little quicker, a little less effort. I'm sure with the right tool it can be done. So in the recap here, I'm only going to get about 3 nuts off of this, actually 6, before I have to retap, and after 12 I have to re-drill. And even if I have a little hole left, I will turn all that off, face it all off down to fresh metal, and start with a new pilot hole, just in case that hole after 12 nuts is starting to go up in the wrong direction. So I think I've explained it all. Woody's nuts help me grow the channel, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so here we go. We got our spot drill. Now we're going to go ahead and drill for tapping. Now, I know everybody has seen their drill kind of jump over left or right, up or down once it engages. So I'm going to slowly bring this drill bit in and watch it to see where it wants to go. Okay, unless it was up and down, let me look at that. Okay, that actually is perfect. That drill didn't jog left or right, up or down. In the past, when it had, I loosened up the big chuck, and I rotated the shank of the Jacobs 1A chuck, and tried it again. And the second time I did it, it was straight. You just got to keep turning that shank and trying it until you get a straight shot. So pay attention to what that drill does once it contacts the work. And I got lucky there, and I'm listening. You can hear when those flutes are loaded up. I'm letting it load up on purpose. There, you hear it? So that's when I back it out. Give it a little tap, knock those chips off, and go back in. And it's kind of a long process. You hear it again. Let's see if I can give you a measurement of how deep I can go before I have to pull out. So let's get it to a new cut here. Okay, so that is 1, 2, 3, let's see, That's 9/16 on my quill. It couldn't have been 9 because I have less now. I got 4/16. Let's try it again. Okay, there I am at 1, 2, 3, 8. There's a 16th. Pull it out. So I'm getting anywhere from a 16th to an 8th every time I go in before I need to clear the chips. Well, that was more a good 8. Okay, let me get this in and I'll bring you back.